164. Duan Xiu Shi's fearless stand against lawlessness. After playing a pivotal role in quelling the Lushan rebellion, Guo Ziyi became one of the most esteemed figures in the Tang dynasty. However, fearing Emperor Suzong's suspicion, he voluntarily surrendered his military power and even dismissed his personal guards. Following Emperor Suzong's death, his son Li Chu, later known as Emperor Daizong of Tang, ascended the throne. Around this time, the Tibetan Empire, Tubo, took advantage of the weakened Tang defenses along the western frontier. Allied with the Tuyuhun and other tribes, they amassed an army of over 200,000 soldiers and launched a large-scale invasion, facing little resistance as they advanced all the way to Chang'an. Emperor Daizong had no choice but to flee to Shanzhou, modern-day Shanxian, Hunan. Guo Ziyi repels the Tibetan forces with strategy. In desperation, Emperor Daizong recalled Guo Ziyi to organize the defense. However, by this time, Guo Ziyi had no standing army. Gathering only 20 cavalrymen, he rushed to Xianying, only to find Chang'an had already fallen. Instead of engaging in a head-on battle, Guo Ziyi relied on tactical deception. His troops created the illusion of a large army by beating war drums, waving banners, and lighting numerous campfires at night. He sent agents into the city to spread rumors that Guo Ziyi had arrived with an enormous force. He even instructed hundreds of young men in the city to run through the streets, loudly proclaiming, "Lord Guo has arrived with countless troops." Hearing these rumors, the Tibetan generals panicked. Fearing they had fallen into a trap, they looted whatever they could and quickly retreated from Chang'an. Once again, Guo Ziyi had saved the Tang dynasty. When Emperor Daizong returned to the capital, he reinstated Guo Ziyi, appointing him as deputy grand marshal. The growing lawlessness in Bingzhou. A year later, Tibetan and Uyghur forces threatened Bingzhou, modern-day Binxian, Shaanxi. Guo Ziyi dispatched his son, Guo Shi, to assist the local military governor Bai Xiaoda in the city's defense. However, Guo Shi, emboldened by his father's prestige, became arrogant. His troops lacked discipline, and some soldiers harassed civilians and committed crimes. Taking advantage of this lawlessness, local ruffians and gangsters realized they could join Guo Shi's army under false pretenses. Wearing military uniforms, they roamed the streets in gangs, extorting and attacking anyone they disliked. Merchants were frequently robbed, and many innocent civilians were beaten and maimed. Governor Bai Xiaoda was troubled by this situation but hesitated to take action because he was once Guo Ziyi's subordinate and feared offending Guo Shi. Duan Xiu Shi takes a stand. Hearing about the escalating chaos, the neighboring governor of Jingzhou, modern-day northern Gansu, Duan Xiu Shi, decided to intervene. He sent a message to Bai Xiaoda, requesting a private meeting. When Bai Xiaoda received Duan Xiu Shi, the latter spoke bluntly. "Governor Bai, you are entrusted with governing this land, yet you allow disorder to fester unchecked. How can you remain indifferent while the situation worsens? If this continues, I fear the entire empire may fall into chaos once again." Recognizing Duan Xiu Shi's wisdom, Bai Xiaoda asked for his advice. Duan Xiu Shi replied, "Seeing this anarchy troubles me deeply. I would like to serve under your command as a commander of military discipline, Du Yu Ho, to restore order in Bingzhou. What do you think?" Bai Xiaoda, delighted by the offer, exclaimed, "That would be excellent. I couldn't ask for a better solution. Restoring order in Bingzhou." Upon assuming office as commander of military discipline, Duan Xiu Shi immediately cracked down on lawlessness. However, many of Guo Shi's soldiers remained unaware of his presence and continued their misdeeds. One day, 17 drunken soldiers from Guo Shi's camp caused a violent disturbance in a tavern. When the owner demanded payment, they drew their swords, stabbed him, and smashed all the wine barrels, spilling wine into the streets. Upon receiving the report, Duan Xiu Shi acted decisively. He dispatched troops to arrest all 17 men. Without hesitation, he executed them on the spot. The townspeople rejoiced, relieved that justice had finally been served. Guo Shi's soldiers revolt. When news of the executions reached Guo Ziyi's camp, his troops erupted in outrage. They armed themselves and donned full battle gear, preparing for revenge. The camp was in an uproar, waiting for Guo Ziyi to give the order to attack Bai Xiaoda's forces. Frightened, Bai Xiaoda blamed Duan Xiu Shi. "You've brought disaster upon us." Duan Xiu Shi remained calm. "Do not fear, Governor Bai. I will handle this." Without hesitation, he headed alone to Guo Ziyi's camp. Facing an army without fear, Bai Xiaoda, worried for Duan Xiu Shi's safety, offered to send guards to escort him. However, Duan Xiu Shi declined, saying, "There is no need." He removed his sword, mounted his horse, and chose an old, lame soldier as his only companion. When he arrived at Guo Ziyi's heavily armed camp, he was immediately confronted by armored guards, who barred his entry. Undeterred, Duan Xiu Shi laughed and walked forward fearlessly, saying, "You gathered an army just to kill an old man? I have brought my head. Call your general to come out." His unshaken composure startled the guards, who hurried to inform Guo Ziyi. Confronting Guo Ziyi. Upon meeting Guo Ziyi, Duan Xiu Shi bowed slightly and spoke sternly. "Your father, Lord Guo, is revered for his great deeds. Yet, under your command, soldiers behave like bandits, oppressing the people. If lawlessness continues, how can the nation avoid collapse? If rebellion erupts again, even the Guo family's achievements will be erased." Hearing this, Guo Ziyi was suddenly struck by the gravity of the situation. Realizing his recklessness, he immediately admitted his mistakes. "Master Duan, your words are wise. You have my gratitude for correcting me. I will follow your guidance." Turning to his troops, Guo Ziyi issued strict new orders. All soldiers were to immediately disarm and return to their barracks. Any further misconduct would be punishable by death. That night, Guo Ziyi hosted a banquet for Duan Xiu Shi, personally apologizing for his failures. Concerned for Duan Xiu Shi's safety, he even assigned guards to protect him overnight. The next morning, Guo Ziyi accompanied Duan Xiu Shi to Bai Xiaoda's residence to formally apologize. The aftermath. From that day forward, Guo Ziyi's troops maintained strict discipline. Law and order were restored in Binzhou. Civilians were finally safe from abuse. However, within a year, Chang'an was once again plunged into turmoil. 165. Guo Ziyi single-handedly turns back the Uyghurs. Among Guo Ziyi's trusted generals was Pugu Huaiyan, who had rendered great service during the Anlushan rebellion. However, he grew dissatisfied with how the Tang court treated him and eventually rebelled. Seeking to undermine the Tang dynasty, he falsely informed the Uyghurs and Tibetan forces that Guo Ziyi had been murdered by the eunuch Chaoyin, urging them to join forces against the Tang. In 765 CE, Pugu Huaiyan led a coalition of Uyghur and Tibetan forces, totaling several 100,000 soldiers, in an invasion of Chang'an. However, midway through the campaign, Pugu Huaiyan suddenly fell ill and died. Despite his death, the Uyghur and Tibetan armies continued their advance, overwhelming the Tang defenses and pushing as far as Jingyang, north of modern Xi'an, Shaanxi, threatening Chang'an itself. The crisis shook Emperor Daizong and the Tang court. Fearing the worst, Yu Chaoyin advised the emperor to flee from Chang'an once again. However, due to strong opposition from ministers, the emperor remained in the capital. At this critical moment, all hopes were placed on Guo Ziyi to turn the situation around. Guo Ziyi's bold plan. At the time, Guo Ziyi was stationed in Jingyang, but his forces were too weak to resist the massive invasion. Rather than engage in a hopeless battle, he ordered his men to fortify defenses and avoid direct combat. Dispatched scouts to gather intelligence on the enemy's situation. From the intelligence reports, Guo Ziyi learned that although the Uyghurs and Tibetans were allies, they were not united. Since Pugu Huaiyan had orchestrated the invasion, his sudden death left the two factions without a clear leader, making coordination difficult. Recognizing this division, Guo Ziyi devised a plan. He would first persuade the Uyghur generals, with whom he had past ties, to abandon the invasion. Secret negotiations with the Uyghurs. That night, Guo Ziyi sent his officer Li Guangzan to secretly visit the Uyghur camp and speak with their commander, Yao Guoluo. Li Guangzan addressed him. The Right Honorable Guo Ziyi wishes to ask you, Uyghurs and the Tang dynasty have always been allies. Why have you listened to false rumors and turned against us? Yao Guoluo, surprised, responded. Is Guo Ziyi still alive? We heard that he was already killed. Are you trying to deceive us? Li Guangzan assured him. Guo Ziyi is in Jingyang, alive and well. If you don't believe me, you may invite him to meet you in person. Yao Guoluo and his officers, still skeptical, demanded Guo Ziyi's presence as proof. Guo Ziyi's daring solo mission. Upon hearing this, Guo Ziyi made a shocking decision. He would personally ride into the enemy camp, alone. His officers protested. This is too dangerous. At least take 500 elite cavalrymen as bodyguards. Guo Ziyi dismissed the idea. If I bring an army, it will raise suspicion and ruin everything. I will go with only a few attendants. His son, Guo Shi, tried to stop him, standing in front of his horse. Father, you are the commander of the entire Tang military. You cannot risk your life like this. Guo Ziyi calmly replied. Our forces are weak, while the enemy is strong. If we fight, both you and I may perish, and the empire will suffer. If my plan succeeds, our country will be saved. If I fail, you and the others can still carry on the fight. Then, he snapped his whip against Guo Shi's hand, causing him to instinctively let go of the reins. In that moment, Guo Ziyi spurred his horse forward and rode off. With only a handful of attendants, he galloped toward the Uyghur camp, entering the enemy camp alone. As Guo Ziyi approached the Uyghur camp, his soldiers shouted ahead. Guo Ziyi has arrived! Guo Ziyi has arrived! Hearing this, the Uyghur sentries were stunned. They rushed to inform Yao Guoluo, who immediately ordered his men to form battle lines, draw their bows and ready their arrows. Guo Ziyi and his attendants removed their helmets and armor, discarded their weapons, and slowly rode forward with empty hands, signaling peaceful intentions. As he came into clear view, Yao Guoluo and his officers recognized him and cried out in shock and awe. It truly is Lord Guo. Immediately, they dismounted and bowed deeply in respect. The negotiation. Guo Ziyi dismounted and grasped Yao Guoluo's hand, speaking warmly. The Uyghurs have done great service for the Tang dynasty, and we have always treated you well. Why have you joined in this rebellion? I have come alone, fully prepared to die here. But know this, my soldiers will fight to the death if you attack us. Yao Guoluo, now filled with regret, admitted. Lord Guo, we were deceived by Pugu Huaiyan. He told us that you and the emperor were dead and that the Tang dynasty had collapsed. That is the only reason we marched here. Now that we see you alive, how could we fight you? Guo Ziyi then turned the conversation toward the Tibetan forces. The Tibetans are distant relatives of the Tang court, yet they have invaded and plundered our people. We will fight back. If you assist us in driving them away, it will also benefit the Uyghurs. Hearing this, Yao Guoluo enthusiastically agreed. We will aid you in repelling the Tibetans. This will be our atonement. Swearing an oath of alliance. As the Uyghur soldiers gathered around, Guo Ziyi's attendants grew nervous, fearing an ambush. But Guo Ziyi remained completely calm. To seal the agreement, he called for wine. Holding his cup, he poured wine onto the ground and swore an oath. Long live the Tang Emperor! Long live the Uyghur Khagan! Long live the Allied commanders! From this day forth, any who break this pact shall perish on the battlefield. Yao Guoluo and his officers joined him in the vow, pouring their wine as a sacred offering. Thus, the Tang-Uyghur alliance was restored. The Tibetans retreat in fear. News of Guo Ziyi's daring solo visit quickly spread to the Tibetan camp. Their generals, realizing that the Tang had reunited with the Uyghurs, a counterattack was imminent, panicked and withdrew their forces under cover of darkness. The legacy of Guo Ziyi's heroism. With Guo Ziyi's brilliant strategy, the massive invasion of 765 CE was averted without a single battle. His unmatched courage and diplomacy preserved the Tang dynasty yet again, solidifying his reputation as one of China's greatest military leaders.